Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today on another Stash Bash Take 10. This is going to be my third layout using my maze kit, and I'm pretty excited to do something different because the first two I did use white cardstock, but I wanted to use pattern paper as my background. I love using pattern paper as my background, but I was really indecisive on those two papers that you just saw. One was from Maggie Holmes from 2012. I can't believe it's 7 years it has been sitting in my stash. And the other one was from Doodlebug. And so anytime that I get indecisive like that, I just push it off to the side and go back to knowing what I definitely wanted to do. And that is to use a cut file. So I went on to Paper Issues, and she has a ton of free cut files to choose from. And I downloaded it and everything, and I'm going to be honest with you because you guys know I will be completely honest with everything and not sugarcoat it or pretend that, oh, this layout went beautifully without any hiccups. No, I rather tell you guys, be honest so you guys can learn from my mistakes. And that is one, which was not my fault. But when I downloaded Papers Issues, I could not get it to cut right. And I went through literally 2 white pieces of cardstock. And I did like an SOS on my Instagram. I'm not kidding you. With my crafty friends, I was just like, anybody can help me what I'm doing wrong. I don't understand. I just did a cut file just the other day for what I thought was going to be my third layout. However, it's going to take a long time to do that. And it's because I have this idea in my head that I just definitely want to make sure that I follow through with it. But it's going to take a lot of time. And that cut file went out fine. Well, because with Paper Issues, as long as you have the new updated software, all you have to do is download it and it should cut. But my computer is over 10 years old, just like my laptop and my iPad. And the problem that I'm having, even though these devices work beautifully, I guess because the computer and the technology is so old that the new technology does not recognize it, which makes perfect sense. So they cannot communicate. So my devices can no longer be updated. And the only problem it's causing is with software programs, such as my Silhouette Cameo. So thank goodness for my friend Stacy. She gave me some advice, and I just have to do extra steps now in order to use cut files with certain programs that some companies use. And so I got it to work, and when you get it, it's an actual 12 by 12. So this is the die cut that I knew would work beautifully with the photo. And it was a 12 by 12, but I shrunk it down to a 6 by 6 because I knew the size of the photo was going to be at least 6 inches unless I cut it down, which I did. And by the time I get all my layering done. And then I'm going to go ahead and back that up. Now I picked 3 photos for my paper pad, and, or not 3 photos, I'm sorry, 3 pattern papers from that paper pad to be the background or the backing for that cut file. And then after I get that all done, I learned from the cut file the other day that I was trying to do, and that is I like to turn my cut file over. That is the easiest process for me, and then trace it and then cut it and then back it up on the paper. Now when I was done, I found this cut apart sheet in the 6x6 paper pad. I love when they have those in 6x6 paper pads because they make great embellishments. Even though I had all the epoxy stickers, cardstock stickers, chipboard, ephemera, none of those were working. And so I made my own embellishments, and you'll see that here later on. So I grabbed my scraps because this is all about stash bashing, and I really wanted to focus on my scraps, knowing that this kit was really big since I took everything that this collection that I had from this collection, and I knew that I was going to have a lot left over. So I'm trying to use all the little itty bits of pieces. And one was this pink paper that you see here that I had actually cut into. It was this 12 by 12 when I started off with, but I used it for my traveler's notebook. And then when I flipped it over, because it was Valentine's Day, it had a lot of Valentine's Day sayings on the back. And I found this one that said seriously cute. So I definitely cut that part out and then made sure that I was still able to use it as part of my layering to go behind my photo. So now I'm just taking those papers that I used to back my cut file that were 6 by 6, and I am trying to use up those as well. So as you see here, I'm just kind of layering everything together and trying to get all of those done. Now, I've already told you that backing my cut file was not really easy, and it's so funny because I'm not taking my own advice that I give to my kids, which is I practice this all the time, or I not practice what I preach to my kids, and that is the more you do something, the easier it gets. Now, I have done cut files in the past, but I do them so seldom because they are time consuming. I mess up on them, and yeah, I think if I just would work with them more, it would get easier. But as you can see, it's all done, right? And I'm giddy that this cut file worked out beautifully. I actually worked out a lot smoothly. However, do you notice anything wrong with that cut file? Look at the S and look at the U. I didn't cut out the centerpiece, nor did I do that with the O's. I don't realize this until I get this all done. Now, as I'm working on a layout, especially something like this did take a lot longer than what I wanted it to because of, like I said, being indecisive, not sure what papers I wanted to use. Steering about how I was going to do my layers, I don't even recognize what I did here. So here I go. Thank goodness I used foam adhesive and not tacky glue, which I almost did. I was like, no, I think I'm going to kind of raise this, this die cut up a little bit. So I'm all excited. I cut all of this out for you, but I do end up backing that whole entire thing with foam adhesive. I put it down, I get my layout done, and I'm like over the moon how it turned out. Walk away from my layout to hang out with my family for a little bit, and I come back and go, oh my gosh, the center of the O's, the U's, I did not cut that part out. I had to ever so carefully remove that die cut, and it wasn't easy. There's some parts that did tear on my die cut, and you'll probably see those in the close-up, and I don't mind that. Again, I'm embracing the flaws and just look at it as more of like a distressed look to it, and I'm running with it because I used to be where I had to be, everything had to be perfect. And now I'm like, it doesn't matter. When people flip through my albums, they're looking at it so very shortly that they're not looking to see if I made any mistakes. And if I don't point them out, they probably aren't recognizing it. So part of the die cut does tear, but I did end up saving that die cut. And you'll see that. I actually save it in the close-ups at the end of when I thought I was done with the layout, and then when I actually gutted out the U's, the O's, and the S's. All right, so now I'm just kind of going back to the layering and trying to get it exactly how I had it before. But there was one little piece here that I wanted to dye or use, and that is the happy girl that was the center of that square. Now I'm pointing to you the border of that rectangle because, oh my gosh, crepe paper, you gave us a little bit of that pattern, and that pattern, which is the border strip of the bottom of the black square, is not in the collection, and I love it so much that I was like, why didn't they make this a 12 by 12 sheet? It is gorgeous. It's kind of got that Aztec look, and it's got these fun like pink and I want to say mustard yellow going through it, and it's just so fun and beautiful. So I'm going to save that little strip for something. Don't know what, but I'm going to save it for something. All right, so here it is. Yeah, so this is when I still don't realize, guys, like I said, it was at the very end after I walked away from this layout, but I'm just going to remove all those pieces. There it is. I'm over the moon, but I wanted to add something to the top. I noticed that the yellow, there was no yellow really up at the top of that sheet. So I used what I have, and since I really wasn't feeling any of the embellishments that were in this collection, I'm going to make my own, and that is I'm going to take my tab punch, and I'm just going to put a quote at the top, and it's going to say, "You're a doll," and then I'm going to make another one with some of that pink paper. So I'm going to have a second tab, and that's where I'm going to hold my date, because I realized I didn't have a place that I liked that was where I could place the date on that. I didn't want to put it on that pink paper that you see layered there, where I definitely want to have a little piece of that heart underneath that arrow showing. So I just, like I said, used another tab punch, and I like that layering effect. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So learn from my mistakes, practice doing die cuts, or backing up pattern paper with your die cuts. Do it a lot more often, and don't make the same mistake that I do where I let too much time go by, because I know it's very time consuming. And before you glue anything down, make sure you get all of those center pieces from the font. And that's it, everyone. I do hope you enjoyed this layout, and I hope that you are enjoying this series. I know I've been having a lot of fun with it. So have the other ladies. Our goal is definitely to use up our stash and inspire you to do as well. So we hope we are doing just that. So if you're new to my channel and you haven't hit that button, that subscribe button, I do hope you consider subscribing. I would love to have you over here. Definitely check out Megan and Shannon's channel as well. I will leave their links below, so that way you get more inspiration. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful day. Bye.